Thank you very much, Mr. Herrera, for taking the time to be with us
My pleasure.
here at AUTOBEST European Jury. I will start the first question regarding the very good success of Kia Europe, somehow against the odds. What is the explanation of the success, the recent month success of Kia in sales around Europe?
Well, I think you're right. The success has been, ongoing, even through very difficult times as we had the world economic crisis. Kia has been growing in terms of volume. The secret for that has been, I think, several key milestones we did over the last years. I think one of the milestones was that we hired a very well-known designer called Peter Schreier. And I think he just turned around the design of all our vehicles. We also had the introduction of the 7-year warranty in 2010 for the entire lineup, which was another milestone in my opinion. So there have been several milestones that have helped us tremendously in this continuous growth we have had. And the other important thing is obviously the number of products we have launched into the market. Not only do the products look better, the design is much better than we had before, but we have backed up that with the quality that we had, but we have corroborated that with a 7-year warranty, which is even a better way of communicating with the consumers to say, okay, guess what, the vehicle has a very good quality, very nice design, and we can back it up with 7-year warranty.
By the way, how did you manage to do this transition from NEDC cycle to the WLTP? Because look, in Europe, there are several makers having troubles.
Yes, I know there has been a lot of brands that have had to do some self-registrations to make sure they would be able to sell some of the products after September 1st. Luckily, we didn't have to do that. We actually prepared very well in advance. We went from Euro 6B to Euro 6C D10, sorry. So actually we were very well prepared and nowhere did we do any self-registration. In the month of August, our market share dropped because there were so many self-registrations, but then it increased in September when others were selling the pre-registered cars. So I think it's a matter of organization. Being an Asian company and a Korean company, I think it comes with the culture. Preparation and organization is one of our fortes, so we were very well prepared, I must say.
Tell us, in your portfolio of models, talking about this successful story in this year at least, what are the key pillars of the success?
Well, the key pillars of the success is introducing vehicles in new segments, in growing segments, but also what we call electrification. I think it's a combination of elements. Of course, we still have the Sportage, the Kia Sportage, which is a very solid volume mover for us. But at the same time, we have introduced cars like the Stonic, which is in the B segment, which is a B SUV segment, which is one of the most growing segments everywhere in Europe. So that's important to be present in those segments that are growing. There's a clear shift in the market from traditional segments, A, B, C segment, to more SUV, CUV segments. And we have responded to that clearly with the Stonic, with the Niro, with the Sportage, with the Sorento. We are a very SUV, CUV oriented brand. The other thing we have done is last year is we have launched a vehicle that you could call unusual for Kia. Nobody was expecting to have a Gran Turismo like the Stinger. And I think that's also a step in the direction where we want to go. Actually, whenever we launch a new product now, we say we don't only want to have quality and design, which was a little bit the two pillars we had so far, but we want to add 3 more elements. One is every new product we launch, like starting with the Seed that we just launched, we will add a electrification to that model. The other element we will do is we will have different body types. Not only just one body type, like you see with the Ceed, we have a 5-door, we have a wagon, but we will also have a Pro Ceed, which is like a shooting brake. And probably there will come more body types in this segment, in this Ceed family. And then the fifth element that we have added is, it's what I call the fun element, the more emotional element to the brand. Stinger was the first one, and Pro Ceed, or the shooting brake that we just launched, is another example of that. Is, okay, this is a car that is not only nice and good quality, but it's also fun, and it's emotionally a very strong statement for the brand.
It looks like in the electrification process, you manage better than big giants like, I don't know, Volkswagen and some other big names. How is possible such a, let's say, smaller company to manage this process better than others?
I don't know if we manage better. I can only talk about Kia, and I should not only say Kia, but the Hyundai Motor Group. I think one of the advantages we have is that we're actually an 8 million car brand, which means we sell worldwide 8 million cars, Hyundai and Kia together. This allows us the economies of scales, but also the possibility to have the R&D combined. So a lot of the R&D is, of course, combined and shared between Hyundai and Kia. That's one of the benefits. The other thing is that when I went to the R&D center in Amiens, I realized that actually Kia was prepared for everything, meaning they had all the technologies ready there, and what they were saying is, we don't want to be the innovators in the sense of the leaders, like Toyota was clearly the leader in hybrids. We had hybrids, and what we said is, well, launch hybrid when it's the best appropriate moment for the market. We'll launch plug-in hybrids when there's a market demand. We see in some countries in Europe where plug-in hybrid is now booming. Sweden, the taxation changed, and suddenly the market is demanding plug-in hybrids. Norway is another example, but for EV vehicles. So we see that taxation is driving the changes in the market, and the secret is to be prepared. Actually, the word that I like most is agility, flexibility. You need to have, on one hand, the volume, the economies of scales to do the R&D, but on the other hand, you need to be agile and flexible, responding as quickly as possible to the market changes.
By the way, we did an independent, actually the first independent comparative test for EVs. And we proved in AUTOBEST in this test that actually Kia Soul, which was on sale in July in Europe, was the best, fair, correct car in the whole European offer, meaning that the ratio, the so-called AUTOBEST EV1, the ratio between real range and the WLTP claimed range by the manufacturer was 118%, which means for the first time that in an independent way, your promises are not only matched, it's even more. How do you see such a performance of Kia compared with all the others? Because none of the other competitors went so high in delivering the promise.
Well, I think we want to be honest, transparent, and at the same time, we're a humble company. Humble in the sense that we are a very young company also. And like I said, 10 years ago, we were still selling cars that were not so attractive. The lineup was not great. So we have had a very rapid evolution to where we are today. So we have to remain humble. And we want to be transparent and honest with what we offer to the consumers. You mentioned Soul, but I mentioned the car that we launched in Paris, the e-Niro, where we have 485 kilometers in WLTP also. And in city environment, you can drive this vehicle for more than 600 kilometers. 613 was the number that we announced. So I think that by doing so, you really give people the confidence of driving an EV, because there is, as you know, what we call the range anxiety. It still is one of the big fears of driving an electric vehicle is, okay, the manufacturer or somebody says, I have a range of 200 or 300, but is it really true?
That's the point.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the differentiation in the family of Hyundai Kia. Hyundai is going on one path, Kia is doing a different one. How you manage to keep two brands? Of course, you are in charge for Kia, but we all want to understand this family.
I think one of the things we need to do is differentiate more. First, the appearance of the vehicles, the look, the design of the vehicle. And that's why Peter Schei was named Global Head of Design, to really differentiate both brands in terms of design. I remember not so long ago, 7 or 5 years ago, the difference between a Hyundai iX20 and a Kia Venga was very little. It was just the badge, you could say. So today we have very little products that look so much the same. We're still competing in the same segments. We're still competing in terms of the price range is not so different, but we appeal to a different type of consumer. And you know, the consumer is the way he thinks. And we have consumers that are more young and hard, who love a sportive lifestyle, not sportive in the sense of the rally driving, because this is clearly the territory of Hyundai, and they have cars that are branded N, which is for them the sporty car in terms of rally and the driving experience. Although I must say that by saying that, we're not saying that our cars don't perform in driving dynamics well. Actually, they do. And one of the other key persons that has joined the company recently is Albert Biermann, who came from BMW, and I think he has added this quality in driving dynamics, and that we see clearly with the Ceed. The driving dynamics have improved dramatically compared to the previous generation Ceed. So, and that is what. So what I'm saying is, although the driving dynamics are good, we're not going to go in the same territory. We compete in the markets for different type of customers, but in the same segments, and I think it's working very well. In the end, we're not cannibalizing one brand or the other, so that's the good part.
One quick question: what will happen with Slovakia plant? In the last 5 years was always at the maximum capacity, and you look that more capabilities and capacities you need.
Yeah, definitely we need more production capacity worldwide. Although we opened the factory in 2016 in Mexico, we will open the next year in India. So we're expanding the production, but as the volume is growing, we have. Slovakia at this point in time is about 330,000 units, and that's what it is today. Now we hope that, and we have no confirmation today, but that an expansion of the Slovakia plant could be possible in the coming years, especially because we see the possibility of selling more Ceed in Europe than we have done so far. Actually, the idea we have for Ceed, just to give you an idea, is this year we will end up roughly at 75,000 Ceed between 5 doors and sport wagon. But the idea is that the Ceed family will sell 200,000 units. When you think about this 200,000 units, the capacity needs to be increased, because the other model that is produced in Zelina is only Sportage, which is also a big volume model. So the lucky thing is the concentration of Zelina factory is mainly concentrated for European production, for European sales. So we can manage it now.
By the way, most of the European products are designed in Europe. Do you think that product could be easily sold in Russia?
In Russia, yes, and some of the products actually are sold in Russia. I think where we are more different is in the United States. I think vehicles like we are recently showed, like the Kia Telluride, is more appropriate for the US market in terms of size, in terms of design. You were talking about the Soul. One of the best-selling products in the United States is the Soul. In Europe, that boxy design is not the most attractive design for European consumers, but in the United States it works. I think the difference between Russia and Europe is not so big, although I think the acceptance of Kia is very good in Russia, and we are one of the leading brands in Russia.
So I think thank you very much for the interview. I'm going now to the question for the, you know, the new seed is among the finalists of AUTOBEST 2019, the best bike car of Europe for next year. We will be in Vairano soon. I know you cannot attend, unfortunately, and I will be curious to share this short statement coming from you to all the people in the audience in Vairano. So what will be your message to the member juries of AUTOBEST?
Well, what I would say is I could talk to you about the quality improvements that we have done, etc., etc. But what I would like to stress about this car is that it's not only one model, it's actually an entire family, and it's an entire concept, like I said. We have built on the two pillars, quality and design, that we have built over the last year, but we have added the body types, so we will extend this seat family to more body types. We have currently already launched 5-door Sportswagen Pro Seat, the first shooting brake in a mainstream brand, so this is really unique. So body types, surprising elements, emotional elements like the shooting brake, and the last element also is the electrification. From now on, the seat family will also have some electrification. Next year we will launch hybrids both for diesel and petrol in the seat family, and we are looking also at integrating plug-in hybrids in the seat family. So really this becomes a really complete family. It's just not one model, and like I said, I don't want to talk about improvements and quality and just one element, what I was mentioning before, the driving dynamics is really what came out of the precedents we have done, is that the best improvement that we have done to the car. And I think, again, that's Albert Biermann. That's his expertise that he brought from BMW and the M division that has helped us to make these cars even more fun and more comfortable to drive also.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. It was a big pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.